Recently, one of my boys asked me, "Da, who owns the moon?" And of course I said no one. And then I said, well, perhaps we all do. But it got me to thinking. And it only took a single Google search to find out that Dennis Hope, same surname, no relative, of Wachoville, Nevada, claimed ownership in the 1980s. He's sold off 15% of the surface at the seemingly reasonable rate of $20 an acre, which in my book means that he's made a lot of money. Pure lunacy. Which perhaps explains why George Bush Sr., Jimmy Carter, and the late, great Ronald Reagan have sizable holdings. Of course, that's all a bit of a joke. But what if I were to tell you that there were certain colors, Toyota red, Kodak yellow, that you can't use, even though they appear regularly in the rainbow? Or that you have to be careful about the way you use the word "yup," which a recent litigation argued was worth $250,000. It's not so long ago that Men at Work were sued for the use of a couple of bars of a 1934 song legally recognizable in their hit single Down Under. The Girl Guides campfire ditty had been purchased by a company whose sole aim was to exploit the music or litigate. The case led to a bitter courtroom showdown, a massive payout for the legals, and the suicide of a much-loved Melbourne musician. Everything But Nothing is my journey to try to understand why ownership has become the way we define ourselves, protect ourselves, and enrich ourselves in the 21st century. It's a practice, I worry, will ultimately undermine our humanity, and maybe even our existence. On this quest, we're going to meet with ordinary people who feel disenfranchised from what they thought was the natural way of the world. On the other side, we're going to encounter the terrible appetite of the legal monster that restricts the use of inventions, water, ideas, words, even souls in systems of litigation that look to me more like treasure houses for the haves and refugee camps for the have-nots. We're also going to meet people from around the world who are desperate to defend our shared natural liberties. And we're going to discover that with the climate shifting and the emphasis of ownership turning to food security, a new revolution may come sooner than we think. Now, I know it's sounding dry, and while one bit of me is an academic and a writer, the other bit of me is an actor, which in my book is licensed to be a larrikin. I mean, after all, an actor's job is to pretend to be something we're not, in order to reflect and challenge the world we live in. So what we're going to do on this journey is to challenge the monster. We're going to stake our own claim to some of the best known things that we all take for granted are ours to be shared. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be messy. There's likely to be tears. It'll push boundaries, get up people's noses. It will exploit the weakness of digital platforms and the power of social media. I'm hoping that it's what we share that will define us rather than the power or the toys that we covet. Of course, there's no guarantees on the journey from everything to nothing. Just the slings and arrows of outrageous litigation. And don't worry, Shakespeare's in the public domain. But to cause 3 copyright infringements, I would like to quote without license or credit. I came to this world with nothing. I leave with nothing but love. Everything else is borrowed. Actually, if I play the tune, it's arguably 4 or 5 infringements.
I came to this world with nothing, and I leave with nothing but love. Everything else is just borrowed.